Hey, did you know that men have an intuition, or I'd say a form of intuition? And I don't think it's necessarily talked about a lot. A lot of times, male intuition is dealing with other men, determining somebody as a threat, or if they're just not to be trusted at all. And that intuition, a lot of times, it transfers to situations with people as well as the people themselves. But in this particular series, I like to call it "How to Relationship." And for this particular subject, we're going to talk about wife, daughter, and mom energy. And I believe these are a couple of forms of energy that women put out that men or mature men will identify and then determine how to proceed or not to proceed with a particular woman. Because everybody gives off a certain type of energy, and a lot of time you'll hear a masculine, a man say a woman's putting off masculine energy. And that's because a man really knows masculine energy when he sees it, or at least, the aspects of it. But in the same token, a lot of men can tell, about different types of feminine energy. So today we're going to talk about the mom energy, the daughter energy, and then the wife energy. All right, and some aspects of it. And this is probably not going to be, an all-inclusive list of things that a man would be able to tell, but here's some things that, things and characteristics that I was just thinking off the top of my head, that if you exhibit this or a man tells you this, then it could be the reason why you're getting turned off or being put in a certain category that you may not necessarily want to be put in when you engage with a man, especially with a man that you like. All right, number one, and I'm going to be reading off my notes over here, so I apologize for not looking directly at you, but that's the reason why. But if you really want to know, then hey, stay tuned. Moms always have to give, and that's probably the main characteristic of a mom. Daughters usually receive until they get grown, and then wives have a give and take energy to them. You know what? All right, so moms always have to give, and they could be in a house with kids and a man, and they could still not be a wife, have wife energy, because they always have to be in control. They don't have necessarily have the ability to relax and have a baby because they have had a kid without a man. And so they're basically, playing both roles, or, playing the mom role, but trying to fulfill aspects of the father role as well. They have to be problem solvers. Excuse me. And usually, if you think of yourself as a boss chick, more than likely you're exhibiting mom energy, or at least that's the man is going to interpret it as his mom energy. A lot of times a woman with mom energy is going to want obedience from her man and from her son, but the reason why is because she can't really tell the difference between a man, a husband, or a son. And most likely that's because they haven't seen a husband in the home. And not seeing a husband in the home I believe it has a dramatic effect on women as well as men, because if you don't see the dynamics of a couple, then you won't know what they are when it's time for you to be in a relationship. And that would be something you'd have to work on before you would be more, for lack of better terms, qualified for a relationship. But you really want to be able to give off the right type of energy, because the type of energy you give off is going a lot of times going to determine the type of man that pursues you and how he treats you. Now, there are some men, and good men is always going to look for the good in you, because he's going to want to cultivate that in you so that, you can be as confident a woman as you can. But a bad boy will always cultivate the energy in you that basically gets him what he wants. And if he feels that you're rebellious, he's going to try to tap into that rebelliousness so that he can get what he wants, because, he don't want to be responsible. And a rebellious person doesn't want to be responsible. So it's always going to be a good matchup. But 9 times out of 10, either you're going to be the one that suffers from it, or both of you are going to be the ones that suffer from it. And occasionally he might be the one that suffers from it, but somebody's going to suffer from it because it's just not well balanced. A mom can look like a wife, but eventually a husband is going to be able to tell that she's not. And that energy is going to overwhelm him, so to speak, and he's going to probably lose his patience, or he's going to start taking away his, I guess you could say, benefits in some way, form, or fashion. But eventually, mom energy is going to turn a man off, and it could be in different ways. And he can still be a good man, be good to you, but he won't be as good as he can to you because of that mom energy. And one of the most dangerous things about having mom energy is that moms, men eventually grow up, and they will always leave their mom for another woman in most cases. Now, they may come back and take care of their mom, but there's always going to be a woman that's going to be in front of her for most part. So you're basically looking to be in second place if you have a mom energy type presence with a good man, or any type of man, because men usually leave their mom. That is what is ingrained in us to do, is to grow up and leave, or find a woman and take off. All right, so next we'll talk about daughter energy. A daughter usually receives from a man. She is always looking to receive, and until she basically grows up. A lot of times when she grows up, she actually starts giving. All right. But daughters are usually dependent on survival. So if you have a mentality of always being taken care of by a man, then you're really kind of exhibiting daughter mentality, or daughter energy. As you're always going to want and need somebody to take care of you, but you don't necessarily want to do anything in return. So a lot of times, these type of women don't necessarily make the best decisions. They can get into trouble for one way or